For 17 months of war, no assistive devices were allowed into the Gaza Strip. This is the most urgent issue that persons with disabilities face in the Gaza Strip. We have long waiting list of persons with disabilities who need assistive device. And you know, the first step of including a person with disability is having his own assistive device, either hearing aid, either wheelchair, crutch, walker. All of those items are not allowed into the Gaza Strip. And if we try to find it from the local market, there are a few quantities, small quantities, and with high prices as well. And this is one of the really demanding issues that everyone should light on, that we need to have strong voices that calls that assistive devices should be allowed into the Gaza Strip without clearance processes, because if not, they are not allowed, then the lives of persons with disabilities are at risk. We receive evacuation appeals from persons with disabilities who require just a wheelchair so that they can evacuate a risky area. But if we don't have the wheelchair, then his life or her life will be at risk. 2 weeks ago, we were lucky to find 10 wheelchairs in the local market. And we provided one of the wheelchairs to one of male beneficiary. He's a child. And when we asked him, how do you feel about having a wheelchair? The first thing that came to his mind that now I can evacuate if we received an evacuation order. For normal cases, a child would say, now I can join my peers and play with them. Now I can go to the school. Now I can join the PSL sessions. No, the first thing that came to his mind that if they received an evacuation order, now he can evacuate, because previously, before receiving the wheelchair, his father and his uncle used to carry him while they are evacuating. And this is a very tiring process for everyone. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this. I just want to be sure, when you talk about evacuation order, you're talking about running away from bombing. Is
Yes.
that yeah. Okay? I wanted to be clear on that. And apart from this story you share with us, is there any other story of beneficiary you would share with us, we can share with our reader and supporter?
I would like to emphasize on the modality of our inclusive community kitchen. This is the only inclusive community kitchen in the Gaza Strip. And when we were thinking about this idea, we did not want to introduce the kitchen as a kitchen that provides only hot meals, but we wanted to show a model to all actors on the ground of how persons with disabilities can be engaged in the response and not only receive the aid. And this is a very successful model, by the way, because persons with disabilities are left behind. They are not considered in the planning, implementation, or monitoring and evaluation of the emergency response. And if we do emergency response that support the right of person with disability, it comes by engaging them from the first step. So this model is not only it's an advocacy tool that we use to amplify the voices of persons with disabilities in the Gaza Strip, and to let everyone know that if we engage them, they can do better. Their lives will be improved. In addition, it also acts as a source of income to persons with disabilities who have lost everything during the war. And not to be left behind, they need to receive psychosocial support, emergency relief, livelihood empowerment, and also to be engaged in the right way based on the United Nations Convention of Persons with Disabilities Rights.